A very good morning to everyone. Of course, to my boss, Insurance Commissioner, to our keynote speaker, Ms. Evelyn Petruska, AIC Secretary General, the officers of PIRA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege indeed to be assigned as a reactor. Let me first congratulate Mr. Mo for that well-prepared presentation. Actually, this assignment has been given at a short notice, and I happened to scribble some notes based on your presentation. Indeed, you have put it aptly that a fundamental requirement to be able to build bridges in order to achieve a common market, that is the ASEAN integrated market, is to consider consistency and insurance regulations among the ASEAN member states. Without that, the ultimate goal of having free flow of trade in services will be difficult to realize. I agree with your presentation that there exists varying levels of development among the member states in ASEAN, both economic development and regulatory development. This is not surprising. The 10 member states did not join the organization all at the same time. In fact, even the first 5 original founding members of ASEAN, or the ASEAN 5 we call, still we could see the diversity or variance between them. If this variance in regulatory regimes between countries remain, then this will be the very barrier that will impede the hope for or aspired for free flow of trade and services in the region. One great challenge, however, that we have to face is indeed the harmonization of rules and regulations in the region. While there have been quite a number of attempts in the past to harmonize insurance rules, yet it never materialized. Maybe at that time, there was no urgent need for harmonization. You will observe that there is a high-level insurance regulators meeting being held annually, and this is known as the ASEAN Insurance Regulators Meeting, or the AIRM, where they have a one-day, or rather a short meeting also with the AIC, or the ASEAN Insurance Council. But despite that, the insurance regulations up to now are far from being harmonized. In fact, it never came close to harmonization. Take, for instance, motor car insurance business. I am sure the rating systems are different among countries. The schedule of indemnities are different, and perhaps even the claim settlement processes are different. But hopefully, this could be the first line of business where we can attain some commonality across the region through the Blue Card system. Another is when it comes to the services of qualified insurance professionals, like for instance the actuaries. There are countries that allow fellows of internationally recognized associations of actuaries to practice their professions, while in some countries like the Philippines, it requires that only ASP member fellows can sign official documents that can be submitted to the Insurance Commission and other government entities. In terms of solvency framework, while 5 countries have already adopted the risk-based capital framework as a tool for solvency determination, I believe that most are aware that the extent or manner of implementation vary from one ASEAN country to another, owing to the fact that the frameworks themselves have been designed differently. Presently, the Philippine risk-based capital framework is being reviewed with a view to improve it and become a more effective regulatory tool or be a fair measure of solvency. Thus, even in the aspect of solvency measurement or monitoring, there lies a big gap at the moment, and therefore we have to narrow that gap. And by the way, the information provided for the Philippines in Table 15 needs some minor correction. And of course, majority of the audience here are very much aware of the provision and the new insurance code. We are at present having a requirement of 250 million minimum net worth, and that should end by 2016. And by then, the new regulation of 550 million net worth will take effect, followed by 900 million pesos net worth by December 31, 2019, and by 2022, December 31, it should now be 1.3 billion. Of course, for new insurance companies, we all know that the paid-up capital requirement is 1 billion pesos plus a contributed surplus of at least 300 million. So effectively, that is also equivalent to 1.3 billion pesos in net worth. You have mentioned about AM Best and your services in the region, and I must say that I think it is also the aspiration of each and every insurance company to be AM Best rated. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. So I understand that we're only given 2 minutes to react. And of course, I will be coming from the private sector or the non-life insurance industry player. So what are actually my thoughts regarding the consistency of regulations? As what was mentioned earlier by our AEC General, there are actually 3 things that we have to focus on. That is the capacity building, financial infrastructure, and harmonizing regulations. And the consistency in regulations is one of these falling under harmonizing regulations. If we look at it from the Philippine point of view, what has our regulators done? They have actually geared up to be ready for an ASEAN standard regulatory framework. Although as what was mentioned by Deputy Commissioner, there is still a lot of gap to be actually done in order to be aligned with what is the ASEAN industry is doing on all other aspects. The second aspect would be the capacity building. Our insurance regulators have done a lot in terms of their capacity building. As what was mentioned by the Insurance Commissioner and our Deputy Commissioner, they have prepared their competencies, upgrade the level of professionalism, and the capabilities of the structure, both physically and on the human aspect. On the regulatory framework, the Revenue Insurance Code has been passed, and we're now doing an aligned RBC framework which is being crafted together with NMG and SGE, and that will be discussed in more detail later on. The ASEAN Corporate Governance Scorecard, which is also part of our strengthening our solvency, is also in the process. We have an IC-AFTA champion, which was actually assigned by the Commissioner, that's in the person of Deputy Commissioner Vida Chong, who has been in dialogue with the AEC and the DOM and the various industry sectors to make sure that the industry will actually be ready to face our ASEAN or the AFTA. On the private sector side, and this is also one of my own concerns, are we ready to actually face the AFTA? Do we have our own industry blueprint aligned with the regulators? The other industries will also be affected, and the AEC. Are we addressing the readiness of the industry in terms of the industries and the respective companies' capacity building and ability to respond to a stronger regulatory framework? Do we have sufficient pool of technical professionals? Do we have the resources now or in the future to address competition? On the regulatory side further, this was not mentioned, but one of the things which is very important is actually the tax issue. We all know that the tax in the Philippines, both on the transaction tax as well as on the interpretation of such other taxes on the Reinsurance Commission, is not yet very clear, and we are not competitive in the ASEAN region. The PIRA is actually doing something about it together with the Insurance Commission. A House bill has been actually drafted and is now being worked in Congress, but still it's a long way to go. In addition addition to those taxes, probably that there is also taxes on the incentive in order to boost the economic or the industry's growth, which is actually being overlooked. I hope that something can be done also in this regard. As what was mentioned also by our AIC General, Evelina Petruska, there's a lot of, we have 600 million people, there's a lot more to share, it's a big pie, and actually, the key is knowledge, understanding, and flexibility on the part of the private industry players to be able to compete and to cope up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Becky. The last portion of the presentation seems to be questions for Mr. Mo. Are there questions for Mr. Mo? There seems to be none. The two reactors amply covered the reaction portion of the group. Mr. Mo, we thank you very much. At this stage of the program, may we call on the Secretary General of the ASEAN Insurance Council, Ms. Evelyn Petruska. May we call you on the stage, together with our very own Commissioner To'o and the Chairman of PIRA, Mr. Emmanuel Ke, for the flag of appreciation ceremony. On behalf of PIRA, Madam Petruska, we thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Let's give Ms. Petruska a big round of applause. Thank you, Ms. Petruska. May we also call on stage Mr. Ke, please remain on stage. Mr. Mo, please remain on stage. May we also call on stage Mr. Mitz Reliosa, Director of PIRA, who award the plaque of appreciation to our first speaker, Mr. Mo. Let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Mo. Thank you very much. That does it for the first speaker. Now we have a decision to make. We're practically on time. So I just want to make a call. Will we have a coffee break for 10 minutes? Or would you want the speakers to come forward and speak their respective pieces? Great. So that's it, the consensus of a 10-minute break. In 10 minutes, I call you all back to your respective seats.